Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Wednesday, June 12th, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour of the day. I have a lot of kind of random articles today. There's one thing that I focused on a little bit, but March against Monsanto organizer to face charges for using amplified sound at park. It's always something, right? Lieutenant Colonel Roy Potter, a call to the invisible army of the restoration of liberty. And he's asking for people in the government to stand up and be counted. An address to those in government who know of governmental wrongdoing and crimes to come forward and save the republic. Top 3 current global targets for Anglo-American destabilization. Although the thinly disguised destabilizing campaign known as the Arab Spring was largely confined to the Middle East, the latest push by Western-backed intelligence agencies, governments, militaries, and NGOs is now taking on global form. Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and Malaysia all seem to be caught in the crosshairs of the Anglo-American elite and the destabilization tactics of NGOs. It goes on from there. It's time to put an end to this madness, and I hope that we soon have our republic restored so that our resources are not going to these causes, these evil causes. And really, this is just nothing more than empire building through the banks. And hopefully when the republic is restored, this entity doesn't just go offshore to someplace and continue to function. They've been using us as a base for so long. History of USA surveillance of U.S. citizens. There are so many amazing links about this right now, and I really had to pick and choose. If you're Facebook friends with me, look at my page, and it's not She Who Will Walk in the Dark. If you want my Facebook info, leave a comment and I'll friend you. But I'm going to put a lot of links on Facebook just because there are just so many links today that were excellent. Metadata can tell the government more about you than the content of your phone calls. Why should you care if the government spies on your metadata? You know, they can do psychological profiles. They can build probability matrices, what you're likely to do in your life and in different circumstances. The dirty little secret about mass surveillance, it doesn't keep us safe, and we know that, right? There was a lot of spying going on before the trade towers were bombed, and you know, when the government is the one that's the perpetrator of the terror, the government spying on people like us is not going to be helpful to us. It's helpful to them because they can keep a handle on us and control us more easily. I have some information. Now, you probably want to do your own searches and your own research, but I have a little bit of information here about file encryption, and I don't know how tight any of these are. I don't know how well they work. As I said, you want to do your own research. I just did a quick search. How to easily encrypt files. And I believe this one suggests that you use a website, and I'm not too sure about that, but there are ways to encrypt information and keep information private. Email Steganography. I believe this is one. I actually saw this at Fry's, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years ago. It's not this specific software, but a kind of software that you can use to encrypt information into a carrier file, such as a JPEG, or it says the Steganography module allows the hiding of text messages, files of any type, or both, in a carrier file. A carrier file is a file that performs a function in its own right and does not appear to be anything other than what it seems. For example, a photograph or a sound file might be used as a carrier file. So this is pretty cool. I'm not using this currently, and I'm just looking at this kind of stuff. I believe that the person at both the sender and the person who's receiving the file would need to have the same software, but it's definitely out there. And here's some freeware encryption tools. I just want to say a brief word about freeware, shareware, open source. If something is open source, that means that you can open up the program, you can pop the hood, and if you're a programmer, if you understand how these things work, you can see every potential function of the software. So in open source, if there's something that's put in there to spy on you, you can find it and take it out, I believe, if you know what you're doing. So freeware, shareware, open source, I think that currently some of it's a bit clunky, especially the operating system, Linux. But I'm guessing that with everything that's going on, smart people will see an opportunity to make some money and start to offer us more secure tech. And Alex Jones mentioned this morning, and it really just caught my ear. That Rockefeller praised Mao Zedong, who had slaughtered over 40 million people. Alex Jones said CIA estimates are about 64 million, and the Chinese people say it was closer to 84 million. And just as a reminder, what these people are really all about. And I used Start Page here, and I asked for it to highlight because I knew this was going to be a long article. So the link that I include will not look like this. It won't have the highlighting. But you can actually go to Start Page yourself and search for, I think I did a search for Rockefeller, Mao, New York Times, something like that. Oh, evidently I used the word praised as well. And nanny state control freak Bloomberg declares medical marijuana a hoax. There's just a huge amount of research that states that that is not so, that it's real, not a hoax. But this is the world that we live in, and I think that we need to be constantly aware that people in high places are not being straight with us, and until things change significantly, and even after they do, it's incumbent upon us to be very, very, very vigilant and not let anything get through without asking a few questions. Why fast food is not fit for human consumption? Well, if you love fast food, you're going to want to ask some questions about that and be vigilant, but I think that you will find that the evidence is there that it's really terrible for you. And there is some fast food I like. I think that probably maybe places like In-N-Out, places that use real potatoes and real meat, you can still find some of those places here and there. Occupy your home, confronting smart meter toxification. This is our good news. Some of the good news was just the fact that if you're trying to avoid being spied on, there are ways to do it with the encryption and some alternative software. But there's also this, they can't install a smart meter if you insist that you do not want it. There was a congressional decision on this a year, maybe a little more ago, and here's just some good information so that you can occupy your home. Hey, we don't all maybe have the energy or the wherewithal to go out and bang the drum and march around and get loud with people who are occupying other things, but we certainly can occupy our homes, and we must occupy our homes and our nation. The Daily Tour is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions, and we do thank you for walking with us a bit today, or as the case may be, riding on the Liberty bus. The dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will believe that in your heart and that you will have hope. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and insist on liberty.